This is Notes in the Margin, a podcast for people who are super excited about writing their non-fiction book, but perhaps, just perhaps, aren't quite doing it. If you always feel called to tile the bathroom or clean the toilet instead of writing your book, you are in the right place. Your host, Vicky Fraser, has been there, done that, and has literally written the book about it. Join Vicky and her husband Joe as they make notes in the margin about creativity, writing techniques, publishing, and general shenanigans, and get tips and tricks to help you write your book. Hello and welcome to Notes in the Margin. My name is Vicky Fraser, and today I am here with myself, actually. It's just me. And it's a little bit of a different podcast this week, so it's not me and Joe talking about books or writing or anything like that. It is, in fact, the audio version of my first ever MicroBook Magic showcase. Woo! Applause, applause. So in November, you may or may not have known, if you've been listening to the podcast, that I ran my first ever MicroBook Magic over 4 weeks. And the idea was to write a microbook, a teeny tiny book, in just 4 weeks. And I had 11 amazing people come along to write their books with me. It's been such a fantastic experience, definitely for me, and they all tell me for them as well, so that's amazing. And I wanted to just celebrate them by inviting them to come and read a portion of their book live on Zoom in front of a small audience. So a few people could make it live, and so they came and read from their books. I'm incredibly proud of them. I'm incredibly proud of everybody. One person sent a recording in, and the rest I'm going to invite to come along at the beginning of February and join in the January MicroBook Magic Showcase. So if you have been thinking about writing a book, but a big book feels like too big a thing, then maybe you want to come and write a microbook with me in January. I'm running this again starting January the 10th, 2023. Have a listen to this showcase. See if my microbookers inspire you to write your own book, and I will see you after the showcase. Enjoy. Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to the MicroBook Magic Showcase. I am very excited. Thank you for the jazz hands, Asmara. I'm very excited to be here because less than a month ago, I decided that I was going to run a microbook course, a 4-week write a microbook course, and 11 amazing people signed up to do it. And 11 amazing people have either pretty much finished their microbook or they are so close as to be just a few yards away from the finish line. And I'm honestly so proud that I could burst. I'm really delighted. And to celebrate, I'm doing a little bit of a MicroBook Magic showcase. So I just wanted to invite people. Not everybody can make it live. I've got a recording, and I'm hoping that some people will come back in January just for the showcase and read in January. But I have several people here today who are going to read an excerpt from their microbooks for you. We can celebrate. It's going to be very exciting. And so this is how it's going to work. I am going to do a quick introduction for each person. I'm going to hand over to them. They are going to tell us a little bit about themselves and their microbook. They are going to read a little excerpt from their microbook. We are going to cheer them, and then there'll be time for a bit of Q&A at the end if anyone has any questions. I encourage you to use the chat if you have anything to say, if you've got points that somebody says that you're like, oh my god, that's amazing, or I love that, pop it in the chat box. We love to hear it. It's very encouraging. People can kind of look at that after they've finished their reading and have a look. So we should be live all over the internet at the moment. It's the first time I've done this, so who knows. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Asmara, who is going to tell us a little bit about who she is, what she does, and the microbook she's written, and then she's going to read from her microbook. So Asmara, if you would like to unmute, I will spotlight you.
Hello, my name is Asmara. I am the founder and CEO of the Ops Room. And what I do is I create systems that don't suck for individuals, businesses, and planet. My microbook is called Paradigm Playground. And essentially what it is for the past 400 odd days, I've done something new every day. And there are excellent systems reasons why. And I've delineated on what those are and kind of put together a wee little microbook of 30 prompts that help people do something new every day. So that is what I will be sharing, just from like a snippet of the introduction, just to give you a flavor. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. So thanks for having me, Vicky. And thanks so much for your guidance through this process too, by the way. Like, I started this with 0 microbooks, and now I have 1.5 microbooks. So, and to say that that's all been done in a month is like completely crazy to me, but like, that's the benefit of putting yourself in those spaces. Anyway, without further ado, so Paradigm Playground. Vicky, am I okay to just jump into it?
Please do. Yes, whenever you are ready.
Awesome. So people like to quip, when was the last time you did something new? This makes me smile because lately my answer has been the same. Yesterday. For the past 420 days, I have done something new every day. It hasn't broken the bank or my spirits. On the contrary, it has created an existence rich with discovery, exploration, and appreciation. Paradigm Playground is a collection of prompts designed to help you dismantle your comfort zone brick by brick, and ultimately help you realize that the zone itself is a myth. Because you are a system living in an entangled mess of dysfunctional systems. But the good news is that systems have leverage points, things that, when changed, have a profound impact on the whole. One of the most powerful of these is transcending paradigms. Paradigms are the mindsets, assumptions, and mental models that underlie any system. So when we look at the level of the individual, there's only one way to do this: to think and do differently. That's easier said than done, of course. The brain is generally wired for survival, and we find comfort in the familiar because we think we know what to expect. As you'll soon discover throughout the next several weeks, novelty is omnipresent. No matter how many times you've experienced something, there's always a dimension of new available to you, but you must be intentional about it. In this space, there's no judgment, no compulsion, and certainly no stress. And there is only one rule: do no harm to ourselves, others, and the various contexts we all inhabit, because kindness and courtesy seldom lead to bad outcomes. So as you work through this, and by doing so on yourself, remember to be gentle and know that the road you're about to walk has been laid out very carefully ahead of you to be inspirational, insightful, and impactful. Most of the prompts won't require an egregious amount of effort or additional investment from you. Of course, like anything worth doing, they may put some light demands on your energy. Don't think that you must do a prompt daily. If it's more comfortable to space them out every couple of days, every week, or even a few times a month, go with what feels right for you. Roads are generally easier to travel when you have company. So I encourage you to bring a friend or to join my community Paradigm Playground on Wonder. That all being said, the most benefit that can come from this experience is from committing to a daily prompt for 1 month. To further maximize your enjoyment, I recommend jotting down your new experiences. If you have a journaling practice, this is easy enough to incorporate. But in the microbook, you will find a little space to jot down your reflections. And before I leave you, I will express that I know it's not asking for too much, because I've done it for 12 consecutive months with no break. And at this point, it's kind of like breathing for me. And what I've discovered is a confident, introspective, and radiant woman I love. Here's to you finding new reasons to love you too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asmara. That was fabulous. And I have to say that I can't wait for this microbook to come out, because I love the idea of a prompt to make it a little bit easier for you to do something new every day. Because honestly, the power of doing something new, it's just magical. It's magical and life-changing, and it doesn't have to be a massive thing. So thank you, Asmara. I think that's fantastic. And I also want to say it's just about as perfect a topic for a microbook as I could imagine as well, because it's so beautifully simple. It's beautiful in its simplicity. It's doable for people. It's kind of like you said, paradigm shifting. It's paradigm shifting. It's worldview shifting, which is exactly what you're aiming for. And, this idea that, it's really difficult to do something new. No, actually, no, it's not. And you're making it really, really simple for people. So thank you so much, Asmara, for sharing with us and for coming on this journey and for being generally pretty freaking awesome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, Vicky.
And Sharon says, love putting myself in those spaces. The zone is a myth. Awesome. Yes, indeed. Woohoo. Awesome. Amazing. Thank you. We will come back to you in a little bit, Asmara, and see if anyone has any questions or anything. So, Marianne, you're up.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, look at this. Okay, so I'm going to shut up, hand over to Marianne, and you can tell us about your table, your microbook, and yourself.
Thank you so much, Vicky. I just want to echo what Asmara said. This has been such a fabulous experience to write this in a month, and to have the love and support and encouragement from you and everyone in the group has just made all the difference to me. So thank you to you and the whole MicroBook team. It's been amazing. My whole mission in life is to help people slow down in order to be healthy and happy, and to have a healthy body and mind. And one of the ways I do this is through obviously eating, slowing down, going against hustle culture. This is a perfect time of year with the holidays coming around. We hear hustle and bustle everywhere. So it's really about slowing down, savoring life. And one of the ways I've done this is through my Croatian culture of pomalo, which really means to slow down. And when you do slow down, you're able to enjoy and savor all of life's miracles and beautiful moments. So that is what my microbook is about. The title of my book is called Pomalo, a Croatian guide to happy. Eat, sleep, and celebrate your way to a healthy body and mind. So one of the chapters I've decided to read is called Wine a Little, Laugh a Lot. In what follows, I will share a few antidotes, tips, tricks, and hacks of pomelo in the hopes that I can steer you onto a better life's path. Who knows, you may want to take a trip to Croatia and experience the magic firsthand. But first, let me point out that the definition of the word pomelo, which means in Croatian, slow down, no problem, take it easy, don't stress, relax. The definition barely scratches the surface of the true meaning. Its origins are from the western coast of Croatia in a region called Dalmatia. The very same region has given its name to the loyal and lovable white and black spotted dog. The Dalmatian has graced many fire hoses and Disney films over the years. To the people of Dalmatia, pomelo is not merely a word, but a way of life. Affectionately, it is how they do things. In this laid-back approach to life that has taken and often put Dalmatians at the center of a vic or a joke in Croatian, seemingly, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, as other Croatians instinctually spend the entire month of August on the Adriatic coast. Let's lightheartedly examine the 10 commandments of the Dalmatian. 1, man is born tired and lives to rest. 2, love your bed as much as yourself. 3, rest during the day so you can sleep at night. 4, don't work, work kills. 5, when you see someone resting, help them. 6, don't do today what you can do tomorrow. 7, do less than you can, and what you can, pass on to someone else. 8, there is salvation in the shade. No one dies from resting. 9, work brings illness. Don't die young. And 10, when you have the desire to work, just slow down, rest. The desire will pass. Reading these commandments, you might think that Dalmatians are lazy. In fact, the contrary. They are extremely hard workers, completing many of their tasks early in the morning, likely mostly before the start of the day. The fisherman returns from daylight with their catch ready for the market. Farmers plow and sow their fields by hand, only with the help of a donkey. It reminds me of another joke my husband's grandfather told him as a child. He paraphrased, a Russian brags to a Dalmatian that they were first to put a dog on the moon. The Dalmatian, unimpressed, replies, My donkey is on the sun every day. The fruits of their labors are evident in the markets daily, feeding the people of the region and tourists alike. But there was always a time and a place for work, and many more time to savor life and experience the joys that it brings. Which brings me to the 5 principles of the Pomelo lifestyle. I'll be sharing only one principle, but you'll have to buy the book to see all the principles of the Pomelo lifestyle. The first principle is mind over matter, matter of time. In North America, the time is money mentality sees everyone rushing from one task to the next. Every day and night is filled with excess, but you can always make more money. You can't make more time. That is why the Westerners squander this rare and precious resources. There is no savoring of the experiences that span this time. It flies by the speed of light like a blur. There is a brief surge of dopamine in the brain, accentuated by instant gratification. Meaningful memory, however, cannot be under these circumstances, nor under durable satisfaction. Realizing that time is the most valuable commodity, the Dalmatian slows down time. Believe it or not, but Pomelo is a Croatian time travel machine. This shouldn't come to a surprise. Croatia is a region of origin of brilliant inventors such as Nikola Tesla and most recently Ted Rimac, known for creating the world's fastest production electronic car. Why wouldn't a Dalmatian develop a time travel machine? All joking aside, another way of looking at the act of slowing down is the intention of making the most of every moment. Relationships, experiences, something like this, sensations are all composed of moments in time. The effortless extraction of the best of these is a treasured skill of the Croatians. Another way of conveying this is how Croatians value quality over quantity. For instance, Croatians take pride in their winemaking. Grgic put Napa Valley on the map of winemaking after his Chardonnay beat the French in 1976. Later, he proved that the Zinfandel grape has origins from the Croatian Plavi Malac. Yet, Croatian wine production will never reach the top of Europe or the world, nor will it ever intended to do so. Instead, the Croatians focus on Croatian winemaking, prioritizing quality over quantity. The pride in the product and the process is meant to be shared and savored with friends and family. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Marianne. Thank you for sharing. And again, as I was listening to that, every one of the MicroBooks that has been created has already changed my life in some ways. Obviously, I've got to see a lot of them. I feel immensely privileged at how much people have shared with me. So thank you. But you've already influenced me, Marianne, to try and slow down a bit because I live my life at 10,000 miles an hour on a constant source of stress. And just this morning, I was thinking about this and I booked myself a spa day for a couple of weeks' time. So that's my way of slowing down. But it's brilliant. Thank you. I'm also really, really excited to read the full book because I know how wonderful it is, and it paints such a beautiful picture of what Croatia and Croatian people are like. And I just think it's so valuable and important to get an insight into how people live elsewhere in the world, because we can learn an awful lot from how to live a better, more happy life, I think. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dubrovnik, here I come. Yeah, and it's such a beautiful, I keep seeing photographs of Croatia as well. I'm like, my goodness, it's beautiful. So yeah, I want to go. Okay. Thank you, Marianne. That was wonderful. Bridget, it's your turn. Please tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, and all about your amazing MicroBook.
Okay, so my name is Bridget. I am a multi-passionate creative. I say I'm a doer of many things. I dance a little, write a bit, rock the mic as a presenter and hoster. I tell and collect stories. I love personal stories. I also enjoy helping people get things done. So I like to combine all my skills, interests and passions to invest in the community through working on projects and events, no matter how big or small. And this MicroBook was just really a challenge myself, because in January I said I was going to write a book, and it got to October, November, and I hadn't done it. And I saw Vicky, I saw your message on LinkedIn, and I was like, I'm going to challenge myself and get it done. I was going to go and do the novel writing in November. So I was going to do something in November to write. So I chose this project. So I'm so happy to have done it, and I've managed to get it to a nice state, ready to go. And the reason I chose to write this book was because a lot of people say I sound confident as a public speaker and that I don't have no problems. And I just want to break that myth and tell everyone, no, I used to struggle with public speaking anxiety. And so I just want to kind of help people kind of start their journey to face that major fear that at least 75% of the population have in speaking in public. I'm going to read chapter 1, where I talk about how I faced my fear. My childhood unfolded pretty calmly for me in terms of public speaking. I was actually one of those kids that enjoyed speaking in public. I was pretty confident in using my voice. I read out loud, I gave speeches, I would advocate for myself and others. And I even used to rock the mic for my dad when he would DJ at parties. So why, one hot summer day, did I find myself stood in the middle of the theatre, wishing the floor would open up and swallow me whole? It was the summer I had left school and my parents had enrolled me in a 6-week drama course. Drama had been one of my favourite subjects at school, had even won the prize for being the best drama student of the year. I used to dream of starring in musicals like Fame. The excitement I had leading up to the course was contagious. On arrival on the first day, the excitement soon turned to nerves. As I overheard the other students start talking about their lives, I began to wonder if I really belonged there. I started to compare myself to them and realized that I didn't have any links to theatre. I hadn't acted on TV or in an advert. I was just a girl that loved musicals, and coming to drama school was a dream come true. The feelings began in the pit of my stomach, and they didn't leave. I started to feel sick. I could hear my heart pounding. I wondered if anyone else could hear it too. My palms were sweaty and my throat felt scratchy. The thoughts about why I was there got louder and louder until I couldn't seem to turn them down. The time came for us to introduce ourselves to each other. My breathing got faster as my turn came up. All eyes on me and silence. I opened my mouth and no words came out. I was so embarrassed. I looked to the door and wondered if I could run towards it. I didn't move. I stayed, and by the time my voice returned, it came out like a whisper or mumbled, and at 100 miles an hour. The tutor bellowed from the front of the room. If you want to be an actress, you need to speak up, project your voice. In that moment, I decided I wasn't speaking in public again, and my battle with stage fright began. And that's it.
Oh my gosh, you really, as Mara has said, you really did paint a picture there, Bridget. Thank you so much. And I know that almost everybody who reads your microbook is going to be like, yes, I think you're describing me, maybe not the exact circumstances, but yeah, definitely those feelings of surely everyone can hear my heartbeat and surely everyone can see the massive sweat patches developing under my armpits.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I love it. I love it. And again, this is another book that I am so privileged to have read most of already. And it's already helping me. And I already can't wait to read it because, as you've probably noticed, you've been in my calls. I speak at 10,000 miles an hour. It's one of the things that I struggle with. I sound like a chipmunk. So I'm very excited about learning a little bit more about public speaking from your microbook and beyond. So thank you so much, Bridget. I just think it's awesome that. Thank you for choosing my microbook course as well in November. You're like, I'm going to write a book this year, and you bloody have. So yay. It's just so proud of you. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for reading. You did an amazing job of reading it as well. I really felt like I was in that drama school with you. I'm now clammy and nervous, which is exactly what we want people to feel. So yay. I am going to see if I can start up Aileen's video, which she has very kindly sent in.
My name's
There we go. So Aileen is in New Zealand, which means it's currently 3 a.m.-ish for her. So perfectly reasonably, she is not here live. I'm okay with that. But she's very kindly recorded a snippet of her microbook. She's going to explain it. This is something a little bit different. I wasn't quite sure what to make of it when I first got it. And then the more I've read it and the more she's built it and the more I've seen of it, I absolutely love what she's done with it. So I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let Aileen talk about it and then read her snippets. So let me share my screen.
Hello, my name's Aileen. My microbook is called Dear Jack and Isabella. It's a memoir of sorts because it's also very contemporary fantasy. But it's all about changing direction, having to let go of dreams, in my case, having children, and also picking up new ones, because ultimately it's about connecting with magic and living my own story. This is the first part of chapter 2 because it's a bit too long. And while I'm reading, I am totally going to make you stare out because it just happens that these pieces inspired a lot of what happens in this particular story. Here we go. Darling Jack and Isabella, I have taken my own advice and made a list. Things I cannot live without. Thus far, the entire endeavour has been a pilgrimage of sorts. I feel like I've been searching for something, except I have no idea what. Something that's been lost or dormant. Something that's just on the tip of my tongue or out of the corner of my eye. Something that today I rather dramatically found. I went hiking. Number 2 on the list, get out in nature. For today's adventure, I decided on a day walk. After all, I have a good deal of time on my hands since I've been made redundant. You would not believe how touristy the tramping tracks have gotten. Even setting out early, I left the car park with a tide of people. Trampers like me, outfitted with sensible boots, packs, and all the gear, as well as the odd idiot flip-flopping along in jandals and jean shorts, with tiny handbags tucked under armpits. We streamed up the gentle gravel track in a cloud of sunscreen and chit-chat. Ahead of us, over the blanket of alpine rocks and tussock, loomed the mountain. I followed a family of 4. Mum and Dad strode sensibly ahead. The teenagers lagged in their wake. I couldn't help but overhear fragments of the debate, merits of a panther versus a tortoise, and it took me some time to figure out they were talking about tanks. I wondered what on earth I was doing. This was not the quiet day out I had in mind. I reached the sign for a short side trip to a waterfall and, in search of some sort of solitude, I changed course. Inevitably, I wasn't the only one the armoured fighting vehicles came to. It wasn't far. Soon I was following the sound of rushing water, and there it was. Sparkling rivulets laughing and splashing over fern-covered rocks. I didn't realise until later exactly what I saw at the waterfall. I was about to squat at the edge of the pool when I saw that someone, a girl, had parked herself at the top of the bank. At the time, I couldn't figure out what she was doing. All I thought was, hadn't she seen the notices to stay on the track? No one else was saying anything, though, and I, being the perennial non-wave maker that I am, turned and headed back to the main track. We reached the foot of the saddle and started to climb. They've made the track terribly civilised, with stairs winding up the steepest gradients. I was amused to note that jandal wearers heeded the warning sign and turned back. From ahead of me, I learned far more about turret design and fields of fire than I ever wanted to know. There's nothing quite like stairs to take a measure of how fit you are. Soon enough, my legs and lungs started to burn. I puffed and sweated and sloughed off layers of clothing. When I craned my neck to see how far I had left to go, I was barely halfway. Why was I doing this again? That's when I saw someone standing on the ridgeline. At least the rocks seemed to flow up and swirl around something that looked suspiciously like a person. If it was, I have no idea how she got there. It seemed like a silly place to be taking a photo. But no one else seemed to notice, so I held my tongue. At the top, I joined the dotted islands of exhausted trampers, shrugged off my pack and perched on a boulder. I sat for some time, too puffed to even have a drink of water. The view up there makes you feel like you're on top of the world. Spread out beneath you is a giant tapestry of hills, rivers and lakes rolling out to a hazy horizon. A single bird, perhaps a falcon, hung in the air. I wondered what it would be like up there, flying.
Oh, thank you, Aileen. I know you're not here live, but I know you're going to be watching this. So thank you so much for sharing that. And just in case anybody hadn't got that, I'm 99.9% sure that Aileen painted those paintings herself. She is an incredible artist as well as writer and another multi-passionate. There's a lot of us about. So yeah, amazing. She's a beautiful painter. So part of the reason that I really love Aileen's book is because she has brought in this element of fantasy, fairies and dragons and dryads and naiads. And I grew up on reading fantasy, Lord of the Rings, David Eddings, that kind of thing. Love it. And partly because her topic really spoke to me, things that you have to leave behind, things that we can choose to hang on to and they're going to color the rest of our lives, or we can let go of them and see what comes next. And that's what I really love about Aileen's book, is that's what she's doing. She's writing this memoir about, where are we, where do we want to be, what have we got to let go of? And she's doing it in a way that I haven't quite seen before. And that's one of the things that I really love about it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the whole MicroBook when it's ready. And I hope you are too. So that is everybody that we've got live. So I just wanted as well to give a little bit of a shout out to those who couldn't make it live today and talk a little bit about the books that they've written, because everyone's worked so hard. So I'm going to start, just give a little introduction and just say just a few words about the books. I'm not going to presume to read anything or give too much information, because that's not my story to tell. But in no particular order, we have Misty Santos, who is an old friend of mine. We've done a lot of cool stuff together, and she came to finally write her book. She's writing a microbook on email marketing and having a thick skin. It's absolutely hilarious. Thoroughly recommend it. All about communications and the responses that you get from people sometimes when you send a lot of emails. Some of them are funny, some of them are very rude, some of them are just bizarre. So thoroughly recommend Misty's book. Misty, well done. Mira Puppins. Mira is a dog trainer, puppy trainer, and her business name is Mira Puppins, which it just makes me laugh every time. She actually dresses up as Mary Poppins to take dogs out on walks, which I just think is the best thing ever. And she has written a book about all of the lies that we're told when you first adopt a puppy, and how it's going to be and what you need to do. And so it's not a book about puppy training so much as it is a book about this is the stuff that maybe people aren't going to tell you. Who else have we got? We've got Sigute, who is another multi-passionate and is writing her microbook. She's almost finished as well. Her microbook is all about being yourself as much as possible, and adopting that scatteredness. Some people might say it as scatteredness as your superpower, and that bringing that all together as your multi-passion, and then kind of moving forwards and really embracing who you are. We've also got Tanya, and Tanya's book is all about, do you know what? I have not seen Tanya's book for a little while, so I'm going to come back to that. We've also got Sandra. Oh my gosh, Sandra started writing a book about grief, and has done a great job of outlining it. And she is now switching to, and I think I can mention this because she mentioned it in the call the other day, but she's written poetry. And I think that's the one that she's going to put out, which I'm really excited about. So I can't wait. To hear a little bit more about that. Who else have we got? We have Kelly, who is writing about editing and checklists specifically to do with editing. She wanted to put together a whole piece on how to do better. Yes, it was. Yeah, Marianne. Yes. I'm not sure if that's a secret or not, so I'm now like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said it. But yes, so Kelly is writing about checklists and how editors can make better use of checklists to do to enjoy their work more and do a better job of that. So, and then we also have Joanna, who has written the most wonderful microbook on perfectionism, which is so cool. Very, very, and breathing as well, specifically breathing and perfectionism. I'm very much looking forward to that. And again, this is another microbook that has already materially helped me because I'm now very conscious of the fact that I tend to breathe very shallowly, so I'm trying to breathe a little bit better. So this is a very quick rundown of the MicroBooks that we have been working on. I'm very excited about everybody's books, and I'm just going to hand over now because we've got somebody else on this call, whose name is Hannah. As you can see her up there, and Hannah has also been helping me out a wee bit in the office hours by giving people a little bit of advice on posture and sitting. So I'm going to hand over to Hannah. Hannah, I would really love if you could tell people a little bit about who you are and what you have been doing in MicroBooks and what you are offering for the upgrade in January.
Hello, I'm Hannah de Kaiser. I am a nonfiction editor and also a writing catalyst. And I coach folks. I edit books to help make them as compelling and clean and wonderful as possible. And then I also coach folks on making their writing process enlivening and sustainable for the long haul, because MicroBooks can happen in a month, but if we're doing it again and again, or we're writing longer works, it's a life practice, and better to have that be enlivening than draining. So one of the coaching things that I do is called Feel Good Where You Write. And that is something that I'm going to be offering as part of the MicroBooks experience in January, which I'm very excited about. My ears perked up at the Breathing and Perfectionism book. I'm very excited to read that because I'm a body nerd as well as a word nerd, a massage therapist and a professional dancer in my previous hats that I wore professionally. And this Feel Good Where You Write session is for folks who are like just really reluctant to sit down at their desk, or they, peek around the corner of their office and they're hit with a sense of dread instead of excitement, or they're like always using the excuse of needing to tidy things up instead of actually doing the work. Or they're in pain when they sit down with painful neck and shoulders, or the low back aches. Like, nobody wants that. It derails our brain when we're in pain. Or for folks who just really want to set themselves up for like the fullest possible success on every level in whatever their writing project is. So together in that session, we tweak your workspace, look at it holistically, how it's supporting you, how it could support you better, and at your body habits, whether they're sort of ergonomic and postural, or there's something else going on. Right. I know, me too. We're all shrimps at the computer. Basically striving to make your space feel good so that you are excited to sit down there. It feels like a relief. It feels like an oasis, a place you can go to be yourself and have generative, creative energy. And letting the physical space be an engine for that creative work. Because it's easy or easier to sit down and write when we're really excited about a project. We're in the middle, there's flow, it's great. But as soon as it starts to get hard, we're more and more reluctant. So how can we use the physical aspects of the space and our body as that engine that can be there supporting us and helping us when the writing itself gets a little harder? So that's what that session is all about.
Love it. I'm really delighted because, I'm sitting really badly now. I'm like twisted in the mirror. But I just on a note of what Hannah can do in the space of 30 seconds. It seems like such a small thing, but it's not. I spent a ridiculous amount of money, except it's not. It's one of the best things I've spent my money on in the last couple of years, on my noise cancelling headphones, because I have ADHD, which means I can't filter anything out and noise drives me crazy. So I bought myself these, and then I put them in my cupboard and I didn't wear them. And Hannah was like, why don't you put a hook on your wall next to where you sit? And that idea has changed my life, because now I'm just like, there's a noise, it's annoying me. I just reach over there, pick up my headphones and put them on. And it's that idea of kind of designing your space and making your life physically easier for writing is just so important. So, which is why I'm really excited that Hannah is joining us for January's round of MicroBook Magic, helping everybody to be physically healthy, as well as I'll do my best with your brains. So yay. Thank you so much. So yeah, just a couple of minutes I just want to spend, because I know that I'm going to be putting this out as a podcast as well. So my podcast audience is going to be listening to this. I'm very excited about it. And it's all over the internet as well, as I've said. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about what MicroBook Magic is. It is I'm reading this off my notes now. It is a 4-week and begin the year on a high adventure for entrepreneurs. Write a microbook with me and get your name in print. Because some of the most valuable, best books I've read have been teeny tiny microbooks. They have been awesome. It's like, how can you have like an idea or a message that you want to get across that's really important to you, that you know is going to change somebody's life, but you don't feel like you've got the time or the inclination even to write like a massive tome. And the traditional publishing industry, there are many things about it that I love. There are many things about it that I would like to explode. But, they do tend to have their conventions. And, the average nonfiction book is anywhere between 60 and 80,000 words. Why? Why is that? That's kind of the question that I want to ask. Is like, there is no real reason for that beyond, that's just what it is. And, some of those books are great. I've read, 60, 70, 80,000 word books that have been amazing. I've also read nonfiction books of the same length that could have been a half or even a third of that length and would have been much better because they've been filled with fluff. And I know we've all read books like that, right? And I think that a lot of the time that happens because there's this pressure to hit a word count, or there's this pressure to kind of think, I have to, if it's a proper book, it has to be big and chunky. No, not at all. Not at all. And I just wanted to bust that myth. And so that's what happened with MicroBook Magic. That's where that came from, was like, let's break the rules. If you want to write a giant book, I can 100% help you with that. But if you want to write a teeny tiny book, that's what this is for. And I think I'm really excited about it because it's just giving people the opportunity to do something that, maybe otherwise they might think, I'd love to write a book, but I'm too scared, or I don't have time, or I just don't feel like I can do it. We start with this one. Maybe this becomes chapter 1 of a bigger book. Maybe it becomes the beginning of a TED talk. Maybe it's just something that you're doing because you want to bloody do it, and that is good enough. That's a good enough reason. And that's why I made it. So it's going to kick off on January the 10th. Very excited. Tuesdays, we are going to have a group call. Thursdays is going to be office hours via Voxer. So Tuesdays we get together. If you want me to look at something, if you've got questions, that's when we do that. We can all talk. And by the way, I am not the fountain of all knowledge. Everyone can join in. If somebody has an idea or something to suggest, I am not like, this is my thing and I'm going to, take over. No. I want everybody, there's a lot of wisdom in a room. There's a lot of experience in a room, which is just awesome. Office hours are via Voxer, which means that between 2 and 4 p.m. GMT on Thursdays, you can send me any questions, shortish questions. You can send me something short to review and I will go through that during office hours and answer those questions there. That happens for 4 weeks. And then on February the 2nd, we're going to have this, a wrap-up party, little showcase, celebration, to just have a little woohoo at what everybody's done. There are 2 options. There is MicroBook Magic, which is all of that. We come together, we do the thing. I help you with reviews and whatnots. And then there is also an upgrade version, which is all of that stuff. So 4 60-minute Zoom calls for teaching and implementation, group Voxer support from me and your fellow microbookers, the wrap-up party at the end. There's bonus access, by the way, for everybody to the Team Moxie Power Hour live writing sessions. If you're not sure you can get this done, I do 2 daily live writing sessions every weekday, and you are more than welcome to come and join those. Some people have done some of those, and it's been great to have you there. As part of the upgrade, you also get proofreading, fully formatted and print and ebook ready files. I will typeset your microbook for you. I will help you to get the cover done. I will work with the cover designer to make sure that that's all sorted and exactly right for you to upload, because that can be really fiddly. And I'm also offering a bonus 30-minute one-to-one call with me as well as part of the upgrade. So you absolutely can upgrade to the Maxi when you are in the micro course. Yes, a couple of people have already done that in this round. I'm very happy for that to happen. So that is not a problem. So I am going to sign off in a second, because that's enough talking from me. But I just wanted to finish. I'm terrible at finishing things and I'm terrible at saying goodbye. And I'm like, if I don't just be like, we're done, I am going to sit and cry because I'm honestly so proud of everybody who has been a part of this. And yes, thank you. Hannah says, congratulations on your books, everybody. Honestly, massive congratulations. It's such an achievement. I cannot tell you how proud I am that you've all done this in 4 weeks. It's really an extraordinary thing. And the amount of knowledge and amazing stories and wisdom that is coming out of these microbooks is so very exciting. Please don't forget to tell me when you have published. I know I'm going to help some of you get there, so I'll kind of know. But for those of you who have still got a little bit more to do, please let me know when you've published, because A, I want to read the book, I want to buy and read the book, and B, I want to shout about it from the rooftops because I want to tell as many people as possible how amazing you are. So please don't forget to let me know. If I don't hear from you by a few days before Christmas, I will absolutely be on your case and be like, how's it going? Come on, let's get this done, because we need to get this sorted. And yeah, I think that's everything. If anyone's got any questions for me or any of the other authors, speak now or forever eat your peas. No? Cool. In that case, just remains for me to ramble my way to the end of this call and say thank you so much, everybody. Sharon, thank you for joining us. I'm so excited you're joining us in January. I cannot wait. Yay. And have a wonderful December and Christmas/New Year/ whatever holiday we are celebrating. Woo! I hope you finish the year on a high. Lots of love. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Thanks so much for listening to the MicroBook Magic Showcase. I hope you enjoyed listening to the excerpts as much as I did. I'm really excited for these microbooks to come out. I'm really excited about the concept of microbooks full stop, because who says a book has to be 80,000 words or any number of 1,000 words, to be honest. They're books that break the rules to me. So if you're thinking, yeah, you know what, I'd like to kick off the new year doing something that I've wanted to do for years and years and years maybe, come and write a microbook with me. I would love to have you if you would like to come, if you're willing and able to come. The link is in the show notes, or you can email me, vicky@moxiebooks.co.uk. I will send you all of the details. Yeah, come join us. I will see you in another week. Joe will be back then. In the meantime, thank you so much to my microbookers for trusting me to help you on your journey. Thank you, as always, to the amazing, wonderful Harriet, who has been my absolute rock for so many years. Thank you to Joe for also being my absolute rock for so many years for different reasons. Thank you to Podfly for making this sound amazing. And thank you to you, dear listener, for listening in. Yeah, enjoy. I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening. Check out the show notes at moxiebooks.co.uk/podcast for links to everything we've mentioned in this episode. Remember to subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. And if you'd like to hear more from Notes in the Margin, you can sign up to get regular emails from Vicky into your inbox at moxiebooks.co.uk/notes in the margin. We'll be back same time next week.